The United States of America have the largest rail transport network globally with about 220,000 kilometers. It is even larger than the railway network of the European Union with 210,000 kilometers. The United States railway network is mainly used for freight transport and therefore play a major role in freight transport of the nation. On the contrary, statistics say that passengers travel only 32 billion kilometers per year. In the European Union, the figure is significantly higher, with 416 billion passenger kilometers per year. The US railroads have a long history in the United States. The success story of railways started with the first Baltimore and Ohio Railroad in 1827. America's first transcontinental railroad was opened in 1869. It made it possible for passengers to cross the continent in days instead of months at significantly lower costs. Eventually, railways were covering the entire country of the United States at the end of the 19th century, especially in industrial areas. The peak in railway traffic happened in the times of World War I, when railroads played an important role in passenger and freight logistics. US railroads were at their maximum length in 1916 with more than 400,000 kilometers of tracks. This is almost double the length which remains nowadays. After World War I, railroad transport started to face significant competition by aircrafts and automobiles. Interstate highways shifted passenger transport and freight transport from railway to automobiles and trucks. This led to a major decline in railway transportation, which lasted until the 1970s. In 1971, the public-funded Amtrak took over almost all the intercity passenger services, stabilizing railway passenger transport. Hence, with founding Amtrak, the railway transport market was split into passenger transport, which was largely taken over by Amtrak, and freight transport. The decline in freight transport continued even until 1980. In 1980, the government decided to largely deregulate freight transport and it returned back to profitability. Railroad freight transport stabilized with a market share of 25% to 40%. Whereas in Europe, the market share of railway freight transport further decreased to even below 10%. One reason is the higher use of coal in railway transport in the US. A popular example for railroad coal transport are the long coal trains transporting coal from the mines of the United States Powder River Basin to power plants and export terminals. Those coal trains have more than 125 vehicles, are more than 2.4 kilometers long, and are fully loaded with coal within 2 hours. In today's session, we will set up a transport corporation in the US, Canada 4K scenario in the business simulation game OpenTTD. OpenTTD simulates a transport corporation based on our real world. Starting your own transportation corporation, you can build networks with trains, trucks, buses, airplanes, and ships to transport freight and passengers between industries and towns on the map. In this session, we will start in the year 1950 and primarily rely on railway transportation. The US-Canada 4K scenario is a challenging scenario where initial investments must be strategically thought through. Otherwise, the attempt can end up in continuously generating losses due to the low payment rates for too high running costs for engines and vehicles. Trains can travel faster than trucks, buses, ships, and carry more freight. Therefore, it is possible to generate significant income from railroads in OpenTTD. Of course, there are also challenges in railway systems, which we will face in the scenario in OpenTTD. Railway networks are highly capital intensive. Railway tracks need a lot of space for the needed infrastructure and have a potentially lower acceptance of local communities if, for example, railway infrastructure diminishes green space or living space of the affected area. Trains are heavy, cannot deviate from the track, and have long braking distances, which can be longer than the sighting distance of the train driver. This means trains cannot stop within the driver's sighting distance and therefore have a higher risk for collisions with another train or vehicle. In contrast, road vehicles with their rubber tires and the road surface have much shorter braking distances. Therefore, trains require an efficient railway signaling and strict operating rules to control railway traffic safely and efficiently. To successfully build and operate a railway system, strategic planning is essential. Mistakes and failures in operating, maintaining, and planning a railway system can have high negative consequences. Despite potential train collisions, in the worst cases, also bottlenecks and frequent breakdowns can lead to major interruptions, deadlocks, or even bring a railway network to standstill in OpenTTD. In this session, in part 1, playing the USA-Canada 4K scenario, we will build our initial railway network to generate early game income. Our initial money-making railway network will be in Alberta, Canada, near to Edmonton and Calgary. We will connect nearby industries with priority on freight with high payment rates. The network will be rather serving a purpose and connect what needs to be connected than be a fully organized and structured with sidelines and mainlines. I'm sure that many of you will find more efficient ways of designing and operating the railways in OpenTTD. Since I am new to OpenTTD, I always appreciate to receive your feedback in the comments. And now, let's start the game. This is the main menu of the game. And today we will play a scenario. We will play the US-Canada 4K scenario. It requires new GIF files, which add more contents to the game and to the scenario for an even richer and more interesting experience of the scenario. We will now load the map. And first of all, before we start building railways, let's have a look at the map, how it looks like. As you can see here, the map is covering the entire of the United States and also Canada. And there's plenty of space and there are plenty of opportunities to start with the scenario, to build a transport network and generate income. We will, in this session, go here to the area around Edmonton and Calgary and make use of the nearby industries, connect them to generate income. We will have a very efficient setup of the first railway network so that we save funding due to the limited initial capital we have. Let's now go there and close the map. When we have a look here at this area, we see Edmonton, we see a coal power plant, and we see 2 coal mines nearby. And this is very important and very helpful because when we look at payment rates for transporting freight, coal is the one which receives very high payment rates. If we look here into the chart of the payment rates, we see that coal is almost on top, and this chart shows the payment rate over the days in transit. So this means the longer the freight is in transit, the lower the payment rate. And you see for coal that it's still, after 200 days in transit, it has a relatively, compared to other goods, to other freight types, relatively high payment rate. So this is very interesting for a start game where you have limited funding, trains go slow, and you still want to generate enough income to further extend your network later on. This is what we will exactly do. So we will start connecting the first coal mine and the second coal mine to the power plant. A little bit think forward what could happen so that we don't set something in the way for later. and from there continue growing our network. So let's start like this. This is the first coal mine we will connect, and we will go from this coal mine through those two factories to this coal mine. By the way, nearby is also an oil refinery. We will make use of this later on. We will first set a very low speed rail with maximum of 96 kilometers per hour, because this is the most cost efficient one. So we will not invest so much money into faster railways. At the same time, we can build a network which generates significant payment. We will also stick to train length of roughly 4. So that's why we select platforms, tracks in the platforms, the platform length of 4. To have some space, for the tracks which will come later, I set it right here. And now I will set up the junctions in front of the train station so that trains can efficiently, without losing much time and speed, switch between tracks. For example, if there are 2 trains and both arrive at the station. I prefer this layout of a train station, and I will explain in a minute why. The advantage of this train layout, though this was wrong, though it needs some more initial investments and some space, is that trains don't block each other when coming in and going out. Also, this layout has braking space here, as we will see later in the game when we observe the trains. Before they stop at the far end of a platform, trains will already brake. And we don't want trains to brake in those X junctions and blocking them, to save time and reduce time which other trains need to wait for to continue their journey. Okay, this is the layout concerning the tracks, and now we will add signaling to avoid collisions and an organized traveling into the station and away from the station, like this. Now already a first train could arrive here, but before we put trains into service, we will continue to build the railway network to reach the power plant, of course. So let's continue with building a station at the here. Yeah, we'll build it here. And also again, I will choose the same layout throughout the entire session, by the way, because I think it's an efficient way there's always one tunnel. So that we avoid trains going in and going out, blocking each other when passing by coincidence. Again, we will add signaling to avoid collisions and efficiently organize traffic, train traffic. And then we will already foresee that we will later on also need a train station here, because there's nearby also wood and farms, so that we can make use of this paper mill and also generate income by delivering wheat and livestock to this food processing plant. That's why we already directly now will build it. We still have funding left. Yeah, let's build it here. First of all, connect this end. I think this is the more challenging part, because there's not a lot of space between those stations. Let's see how it works. Now again, build as always the tunnel. Add signaling directly at the platforms, and then those signals which orchestrate the trains to go in and out with the right, choosing the right tracks. And now we need to find a way to connect this. Like this. For the initial money-making network, since we are having very slow trains, it's not critical, to avoid such curves where probably high-speed trains would lose a lot of speed. Anyway, here time is, especially for coal, not very critical. So that's why for now we will accept that there's some inefficiencies. However, it fits the purpose. This looks already good. This should be working out. And now we need to connect this station with our mine. So again, let's build another time. The tracks connecting the platform and merging into our connecting lines. Now the tunnel. Oh, I think this was wrong. Need to correct this. Yes, like this. Let's add signaling. Like this. Now from here, we need to go up. This way. And then connect. No, this is wrong. And now it should already work. Of course, there are some signals missing, and of course a train depot, but at least power plant and coal mine are connected. So now we will build a depot. I prefer to have it directly here. So when coming back from the power plant, if a train requires maintenance, it can go before loading more coal here and get into service. Okay, and now we will buy our first train and bring it on the tracks. In this scenario, we have a kind of good and large selection of trains, very different types of trains, also interesting different vehicles, and all come with different power, different initial costs, different speed, different tractive effort, and different running costs. Especially in the start of the game, we need to efficiently make use of our initial capital. Therefore, we will buy one of those trains, which are not overpowered for our purpose, have low initial costs and low running costs. And for me, the Alco RS1 train is good for a start, as we used already a lot of our initial capital. We will borrow some money so that we can afford the train, buy the vehicle, and now we have to choose vehicles that can transport and be loaded with coal. And also here we have different kind of choices. For example, this one, which has a maximum speed of 64. This is lower than what we want to achieve, is 96. So we'll choose a better one. This one is a little bit more expensive. This one is even more expensive. Let's take the 2-bay hopper in this case, and we'll buy as much as we can set up so that we don't exceed the platform length of 4. And now let's give the train the orders. First go to the coal mine, then to the power plant, then into service and start again. Fully load cargo, unload all, maintenance. There it goes. So we see now how the train, our first train of the network, arrives here. And hopefully we'll now start loading coal, already 5%. Okay, this is one coal mine. We also identified another coal mine right here. And this is what we will do next. We will connect also this coal mine to our tracks so that from here we can also send trains to go to our coal-powered power plant. And again, we will leave some space because probably we'll build more tracks nearby. Tunnel. As always, we don't want trains to block each other when arriving at the same time. Departing. Not enough funding, so we borrow more. This is where we experience already that the initial funding is quite limited. Signaling. Like this should work. And now we will cross the river and join our tracks. Also here, for the rail bridge, we will choose the cost-efficient option with maximum speed of 160 kilometers per hour. This is more than enough for us. And now let's think how we efficiently connect the tracks. So trains from the coal mine will come from this direction, go down, and then switch to the opposite side tracks. Therefore, we need to build a tunnel. Bring it here. Build a tunnel here and here. We will avoid X-shaped junctions to not block trains when passing in this area. And join here. And then the train can go to the power plant and returning back. It will move here and change direction on those tracks. So this time we will from here now, of course, add signaling so that there are no collisions like this. Yeah, this should work. So now the first train already coming back from the power plant, generating first income. That's nice. Now we will add a depot here again. Same way. This was wrong. Need to remove this. This kind. Like this. And now invest our money into our second train to transport coal from this coal mine also to the power plant. Now we need to borrow more money, especially in the beginning before trains generate profits. Like this. And now let's see how it works. Here the train again, our first train is fully loaded, making its way. What is very important when transporting freight from primary industries to secondary industries, as in this case, to have a good monthly supply and local rating. With a higher local rating, we will have a higher probability that production is increased and we can transport even more of what is provided by the primary industry. So this is why we will now put in service a second train doing exactly the same. But first of all, we need to borrow some money to have the capital available and then let it do its work. The same we will do, of course, here. After this train is fully loaded, then we will invest the money into this one. Now, since we will have 3 trains and later on 4 and later on even more trains on those tracks, we need to take care of signaling. Otherwise, segments which have no signal in between, and there are already quite some long segments here, will be fully occupied by one train, and all other trains who want to use this segment to travel will be blocked and waiting. And therefore, we will now add some signals so that the segments are between the signals are just exactly the train length, and we have a kind of efficient way to use the railway and let it run maybe later on at an almost maximum capacity. Like this. This should work now, and we see that almost this train is fully loaded. So while it's still loading, we will look into our next opportunity. What we saw here is that we have a paper mill here, and we find wood here in this forest. And our next step will be to connect this forest with those tracks to also bring wood to the secondary industry. Before we do that, we'll borrow some more money and invest in a second train here to generate from the same mine even higher profits. And while the trains do their work and the drop, we will now already extend to the remote location for wood. Again, we need to borrow money. We still have space until the maximum loan, so it should be fine for now. Of course, we need to take into consideration that we will pay for interest rates. A tunnel. Now we will add signaling. like this. And let's now first, before we build the tracks further to the north, first of all, find a way, and this will be challenging, to build a station and tracks from up in the mountains here down to the mine. And it looks like that this could be a good first try. We will, especially in the beginning of the game, of course, try to avoid terraforming as much as possible, because terraforming is expensive, needs money, and we have limited funding in the beginning. However, here in the mountains, it's not easy to avoid. Still, we will aim for an efficient layout, of course. Okay, almost there. Let's add signaling and later find a way through the mountains. Yeah, what we could try is to somehow move through this valley. Let's see. Let's try it. Like this. And now it gets interesting. We want to avoid as much terraforming as possible. And now somehow because it's expensive. Yeah, this works. Need to go there. So I think now we can go just straight. This looks flat from here. Down here. Yeah. And then further down Yeah, this looks already going to the right direction. Good. And now we managed to get it. Not easy, but I think it's kind of efficient way to go from the mountains down here. So let's not waste too much time. Try to find a meaningful location for a train depot, maybe here. And then put the train to service and generate more profits. Always remember a little bit while building your network, investing into your infrastructure, remember a little bit that there are running costs, yeah, and trains have a limited time in service, and we must generate enough income from what we build here before we need to renew trains and invest again. And now we will choose another engine. This one, in this case, it comes with a little bit higher initial costs, but running costs, let's compare 10.8. Running costs are slightly lower. As you already can see that running costs increase over the years, so the game gets more challenging over time. That's why we need to be very careful when investing money. And let's see, this one is too slow. Yeah, we can choose this one. So again, as many. No, this is what I didn't want to do. Wood, refit train, and then go to wood, then to here, to our factory, return back to service if needed, and then go again. That's it. Great. Let's observe how the train now moves along here. Payment rates increase the longer the distance between the source and the target. And this is quite some good distance, so this will definitely generate a significant income. Let's observe if this works, what we intended to do. The train just arriving. Now starting to load cargo. Let's see the ratings. Very good. This is fine. And here, very good. Also fine. This works for now. This secondary industry will produce paper. Paper needs to be transported to another factory, which is not nearby, so we will not continue from here. And this food processing plant, which we currently don't deliver wheat or livestock or fruits, will produce food. And food we can transport to Edmonton or to the nearby city of Calgary. Let's see what makes more sense. As we have seen here, there's an refinery. Also here we have farms. Let's check what makes sense in the next step with our very helpful chart here. So oil, is here in the middle somewhere. Wheat is above it, but more steep, so if it takes too long, it will generate slightly lower income. And this means, oh, let's check livestock. Livestock is even below that. So this means next step is probably go for oil. Since we are expecting that we will transport wheat and livestock from here, we will build another station here, and then from there go to the refinery. Let's do this. Let's check. I think. Makes sense to put it like this. And again, we will make use of our layout for stations. Build a tunnel. Of course, the tunnel comes with additional costs. A cross junction is much cheaper and takes much less space. However, we will invest this for now, since more trains are expected. And we don't want that trains, even moving slow, need to wait for a long time until they can load or unload goods. Like this. Okay. Let's auto expand here. In the same way, of course. Now add signaling again, like this. Trains will go in from here, go out in this direction. Let's see why we are building. This is a coal train. Yeah, it left already. Where's our train with the wood? Those are coal trains. Here it is. Yeah, okay. Now again, to increase the rating and hopefully the production of the primary industry, we'll buy another one and also put it into service. That comes. And now let's continue building this end of our railway network. So now we need to go down, yeah. This, so we build a curve like this. Now this will not work. It's a very expensive engine, more than 200k. Was this correct? Yes, it's correct. Great. Okay, so we connected the farm, but our first goal was to connect the refinery with the oil well. There's a special fact and important to know on oil wells. Oil wells will only appear on the game map until 1950. Afterwards, there will be no new oil wells on land. There will be oil rigs appearing on water, but no more oil wells on land. This means eventually they will be closed after all of the oil was supplied. The reserve runs empty, so that over time all of the oil wells will disappear from the map and there will be no more on the map. And sometimes we would like to ignore oil wells because they are an industry dying out and not interesting to the game for a long time. However, since we desperately need money, we will choose what we have, of course. Okay, now we have a station here. Now we need to connect it again. We will build here. A connection, first of all. A station design. As usual. With the tunnel. Like this. Good signaling, please. Now we need to connect those. For me, in this season of the map, it's very difficult for me to measure with my eye the connection due to the structure of the background. Therefore, sometimes I do mistakes, but however, we can correct those mistakes. Okay, this is fine, I think. Now let's put a train into service. First of all, build a depot, add signaling so there are no collisions here. And then choose vehicles. Again, I would prefer this time the baby train master. Tanker. We'll choose this tank car, despite it's expensive. Goes faster than it needs to be, but this one would slow down our network. So we will, let's see here, we have enough funding. Go from here to here, and afterwards to service. Fully load, unload, maintenance if needed. Go. There it is. Yeah, it already loads oil and will bring it to where we intend to bring it. So again, we have here large segments without signaling. This is not good for the capacity of our network. We will quickly fix this. In other games, you will see that some put signals every other tile. We don't do this because I think this is in the initial game with such slow trains. Waste of money. And it's sufficient to have signals with the train length. Spacing in between. Yeah, this is fine for now. Okay. Great. So what now? Now another opportunity. We saw this here in the cargo payment rates chart. Is wheat. Yeah, wheat is similar, on a similar level to oil. And those farms, both farms are generating wheat and livestock. Livestock, interestingly, has a lower performance. If you compare it, yeah, it's very low. Much lower than the yellow line with wheat. One option would be to transport it from here to this factory, the food processing plant. Now, this way, it is not very efficient. As we can see, we have not a direct connection between both. The train from the farm would need to go the way here through this station and then go to the food processing plant. And we could do this, and this will generate income, but not much. Why? Because the train needs quite some time to go this longer way than needed, but we will only get paid for the direct connection for the distance here, and this is actually not quite long. So that's why we will look into another opportunity, and where maybe you remember, there's next to Calgary another food processing plant, which could make sense to be connected and to transport from here to there. This is always, we can build a tracks which are almost the direct connection, and it's a distance which generates some nice income, I think. Now let's think how we can exactly place it so that we have enough space everywhere. I think in this direction. Like this, enough space to Calgary, because later we will build a station here, I think. Yeah, Calgary is a big city, so it makes sense to connect it to our network. And you know our design, yeah, it needs space. Let's see how we will manage this in a later space. So this time we will not build a train station here. This is a very small town, does not really make sense. And also not to this paper mill. You might come to the idea that it makes sense to transport wood from here in the mountains to this paper mill instead of the other one, because we You might think that it's a longer distance, higher payment. However, this is not entirely true. It's only, I think, a small increase in the distance, because as the distance is measured like this, it would be, and like this, it would not extend very much, maybe even not at all. And therefore we will ignore it now, and we will simply lay tracks through all of this. Anyway, we later come to the conclusion that we definitely need it. We can still do it. Yeah, it always takes some time to build the station. With the tunnel, but I think it's worth, yeah, our time invested, so that we have an efficient way of loading and unloading. Signaling, never forget signaling, otherwise you risk collisions. From time to time it will happen that by accident we will put in a signal in the wrong direction, and then, yeah, trains get lost. Maybe we go this way. Let's see. And as I see the one train approaching, transporting oil, I get reminded that we should put into service a second one to increase the station rating. Just done. Add signals. Yeah, this works. And now let's find a way around this small town. Like this. This was not correct. Yeah, like this. Yeah, this should work. Let's double check. Accepts fruit, livestock, wheat. We will start with wheat because wheat generates nice income, and we will send a train from here. Of course, we need a depot again. this. And now let's buy a train. To transport wheat. There are several options. To pick a vehicle here for wheat. This one is not working. This one is working. 334. This can also transport wheat. For example, 40 boxcar and with 278. And the covered hopper is 300. I will choose this one. Go here, then all the way to this, return back into service, fully load, unload all, and maintenance. There it goes. Let's see. Okay, we did an error. Just now I realized, too late. We need to send it to a depot. Let's see. This will take a while. Never mind. We can clone the train. We will anyway need 2. Because we forgot to refit the train. Now this one really picks up wheat. The other one, something else, if I remember correctly. Yeah, this will take a while until it finds a next depot and we can refit it. However, this one will already do the job. Okay, great. And we can also do the same, of course, from here. That's why we'll start to build now. Also a station here, like this. And do the same again. Build the tunnel, as always. And add signaling. Like this. We can already now add a train depot. So now the train is waiting. Let's refit to wheat. And now needs to return to our station, and from there it will do what we want it to do. Let's check the other train. It's already loading. Good. So now we will, of course, not build parallel tracks all over here to connect it to the station. We will merge. There must be enough space. We will merge into those tracks so that we can use the already existing infrastructure. So trains will come from here back. Like this. Forgot to put here the proper signal. Yeah, so we avoid any jams, traffic jams blocking here such points. Tunnel, no crossing. I think this is a very efficient way of connecting it. Yes, yeah, this works. Okay, great. So again, we will put a train into service. This one works. And we have chosen this. First of all, go here, pick up wheat, bring it here, and then go into service. Fully load, unload all, maintenance, and go. Of course, again, it makes sense to add signals to increase the capacity, especially for this large segment here. This direction. Let's wait the train to pass by. And in this direction. Good. Okay, this way segments get not blocked. Okay, great. Let's now observe how this works. Yep, this works. The rating is excellent. Excellent is excellent. Great. This rating is very good. Also good. So we need to remember ourselves when this train leaves the station, we will put into service another one. What to do next? Yes, so what we will produce here is food. Food, of course, generates income. As we can see it here. Food is not too bad. The only problem is if it takes too much time to transport, then the payment rates really get low. This is understandable. We only like fresh food and not old food. And a good opportunity would be from here, bring food to the city of Edmonton. It's quite some distance. And additionally, should be still fine with in terms of payment rate and days in transit. And generate some growth here to Edmonton. Now the tricky part is how to connect Edmonton with our network in a way that we can just offload food and no need for any trucks or so to bring it into the city center. Best is to have a terminal train station here. It accepts passengers, mail, food and gold. We need to clean up some of the roads here, unfortunately. Then let's try to build again our layout. This is even more important for terminal train stations to have an efficient layout, because terminal train stations only have one side where trains will come and go, so they easily block themselves. Terminal train stations have the advantage that they can be located very close to the city center, because you only have tracks on one side and you don't need to cross through the city or pass by the city. However, as said, the capacity is significantly lower, as only from one side all trains must come and go. Definitely a disadvantage. However, in this case, for us, this is an advantage. Because we don't need feeder lines. We can already serve everything directly to the train station, and then the city will pick it up and pay for it. Oh, this is wrong. First of all, build tracks, then signals, of course. Okay, now we will pass by the river like this. Yeah, this will work somehow. So let's now think of how to connect it efficiently so the trains don't take long ways. So trains will come from the south because there's only wood and coal in the north, and this will not be delivered to the city. So they will go here. This looks good already. And from the other side, this will be a little bit more complicated. We again want to find a solution with the tunnel. Yeah, this will be more like puzzle. Like this. Go up. And merge. Yeah, here. This is good. But we don't need this signal here. Okay, this is good. Now we have the city of Edmonton already connected to our network, and we can deliver from here. It's on the south. We can generate food, we can deliver it. We will add a train depot here. Here. Like this. Yes, we need to clone this train. To pick up the wheat, which is already available here. More than 200 tons, and it's fluctuating because some of the wheat will simply not be transported and gone. Okay, and here we will now pick up the food. Some food is already produced. But also for food we need to find let's first choose an engine. Such engines are expensive. Let's stay with this one. And for food, this one is not good for food. It's also not good. This can reefer can transport it. This one is the very small one, or this comes to 348. This one comes also with a covered hopper. Can also be chosen, so we can choose the covered hopper, or this takes 30, this takes 20. We will choose this one. Like this. Food, refit to food, then go from here and all the way up to Edmonton. And then go back, no, not here, into service, and do the same again and over again. Load all, maintenance, there it goes. And we see already how we generate significant income. Our bank account, still we are investing into our, here you see how well it works, yeah, incoming and outgoing trains just passing by. Our generate income already is enough to fund our higher running costs. We will not choose this one. And now the train will wait until a train will arrive with wheat. This will take some time, I see, because they are still loading. And then it will start being loaded with food. And then finally it will make up its way. So let's keep an eye on this. And this is already looking good. What we also have here in this oil refinery, goods are produced. And goods, let's check the payment rate. Goods have a very good payment rate, even higher than gold. They must be transported quickly, but yeah, we are not talking about very large distances, and would be interesting to transport goods from here to the city of Calgary. So we first need to build a connection to Calgary, but what I don't know is whether we will be able to build a station which accepts goods. I don't think so. It's only here, yeah. So we need a feeder line. Yeah, never mind. We still can, here passenger mail food is good. Again, a terminal train station. This is our initial money-making network, and we are not expecting to build this to a large, high performance network. It has very slow trains, has slow tracks. Therefore, it should be fine to have terminal train stations. Let's see if we can connect both. Let's see if it works. We'll try. Okay, don't forget signaling. Same here. The train you see is the train we just put into service, waiting for food to be produced. But for food to be produced, first of all, wheat must be arriving. And yeah, seems like it takes a while until, there it comes. So now let's see how it works. So this one, food is 0%, wheat is unloading, and food is unloading. Very good. So one train of wheat will bring 64% of food. Now let's continue. So a second wheat train is needed. This just arrives, as you see. And now 2 trains will depart. Also here you see that there are 2 ways. Yeah, so it's not that one train is right at the beginning blocked. So due to this layout, trains, I think, quite efficiently can use those tracks. But now let's focus here. Now, okay, this looks good actually. This will work. This will be definitely a bottleneck here. Let's see how it works. So this one does not accept. So first of all, it accepts food, but transporting food from here to there must not make sense. Very short distance, very small income. Does not make sense to put a train in service for this. We have more food here, so that's why we should clone the train transporting food and let it pick up already. Let's check where it is going. Oh, it's arriving. No, it's not arriving. It's still traveling here, so it still takes some time. Okay, good. Okay, so food is not an option, but goods could be an interesting option. However, this station does not accept goods, so it will just be offloaded here and then needs to be picked up by a feeder line. So what we will do is we will bring goods to the station Calgary. And transfer it here onto trucks, and trucks will bring it to the city center where goods are accepted. Let's add a depot first. Like this. Here we see a train with food for Edmonton. Baby train master. And for goods, there's a very cheap one in terms of running costs, still container car. Of course, other the flat car is even better, I think. This one is too slow. Yeah, let's take this one. Like this. Let's now see. Pick up goods from, first of all, refit. Don't forget refit goods. And then pick up goods from here and transfer them to here. Go back and move into service. Fully load. Transfer this time and go for maintenance. And now let's see and observe how we make money with this one. Oh, it's breaking down. Yeah, long time until it's maintenance. Is there a depot? There's no depot here. Maybe you should add one. Okay, it was too late. Now our first train arrives in Edmonton. Unloading food and generating 55k. Good. We still should put signals here. Like this. Good. Otherwise, this will not work efficiently. Great. And here we need to bring into service a feeder line. Yeah, picking up goods. accepts mail, food, goods, supplies, mail. What about here? So for goods, this is mail. Armored is not needed. Also not working. This is for food. Maybe this one. We will choose, let's choose the cost efficient version. So now this will first of all be refitted to goods. Then go here, pick up, bring to here and go for maintenance if needed. So fully load, unload, and maintenance. That comes. Now it will wait a long time until, yeah, this train is still loading. This takes a while. Those are in service. Okay, so this is the next opportunity to generate even more income. We can now take the opportunity to repay all of our loan. No payment of interest rates anymore. Instead, let's think of further opportunities. So what we can also do, we have connected now in our railway network to big cities. And connecting big cities always gives opportunities to transport mail or passengers. And as you can see, mail was here somewhere in the middle of the graph, quite okay. Passengers is very at the bottom of the graph. So let's first go to mail. And we sent a train to be fully loaded with mail in Edmonton and then move on and bring it to Calgary, pick up what is there, and then return to Edmonton, get fully loaded. And this is exactly what we will now do. By the way, somewhere must be a train. No, not yet. No train carrying goods. So we will, first of all, also here somehow. Okay, we have one here. Yeah, this must be enough. Okay, we will from here invest into a new train. Let's see which one is good for mail. Those are passenger ones. Mail car. 60. Yes, like this. And this train will move here, fully load, and then go to service if needed, unload, pick up what is there, go all the way back, go to maintenance if needed, and then again, fully load. So fully load, maintenance if needed, nothing, maintenance if needed, and go. And now it will take a long time until enough mail is generated here at the station and the train can really depart and go. And to speed this up, we will put into service trucks bringing mail from different stations, bus stops in the city, generating mail. And therefore, local authority refuses to allow this. Yeah, they are not happy with us. So first of all, let's convince them that we have only the best intentions. And this can be done by planting trees nearby. Like this. Maybe even some more. And now it should be enough that we can build some. No, still not enough. Let's check again. Ah, now it should be enough. Okay, try again. Those are junctions. Also junctions. Yeah, then let's do it like this. We also need, of course, a depot like this. And then we need to build bus stops which generate mail. Three of them, and then we will here buy trucks. Of course, 3 again. This one. Two, 3. No. And those trucks will send to the And here again, it is important that those trucks just unload the mail, otherwise it will be simply consumed at the station. It will be transferred so that the train picking up the mail like this. And like this. Okay, so now those trucks arrive. And I think we We didn't. No, let's see. Yeah, this one works. This one takes more time, I think. Let's see, and soon this should work. That there's more mail generated because the mail definitely is not enough to quickly load mail into this train. Good. And the same we will do now in Calgary. So we will have 2 trains moving between the cities, transporting mail, and I think this will be a nice income. Okay, we have here a lot of goods. 1 truck, which is probably not enough, so we clone it and send another one. And additionally now with 2 more stations which generate mail like this, and then mail trailer. Put 3 into service. They should go here, here, and here. Again, it's very important to not unload but transfer, otherwise it will stay in the city. This one will go here. Little bit of micromanage now. Like this, and this one we build here. Transfer at maintenance. Great. And then of course we will need a train. You can put one to service here. And again, we build the same setup. With the mail car. Like this. This train should go first of all here. Fully load, then all the way up to Edmonton. Unload and pick up what is there. No. First of all, maintenance if needed, then unload. Pick up what is there, go back, also again maintenance if needed, and continue the same. Fully load, maintenance, nothing, maintenance. That's it. Okay, great. Do we have mail already? No. So this truck is waiting for goods. That is mail. And now this mail will be transferred to the mail train. Yeah, this one is already fully loaded with mail. Very good. There's food. I think we need a second train. We have already 2 for food, okay. Does it make sense to put it to service a third one? I think so. I think so. So we'll clone it and pick up what is here. Yeah, I think this makes sense. Those are goods, I guess. Yeah, those are goods. Let's see how much income we get from it. Arrive soon. By the way, there's another opportunity. I think we will not manage to do it in this session. It's already the year 1957. There's another opportunity. Here we see we have an printing works and we can deliver paper to printing works. We have wood. We have a factory producing paper, and then we could simply connect to this one and then from here produce goods again, and those goods could be again transported back to Edmonton, for example, generating nice revenue. I think this is an opportunity we will take in our next session. Let's first of all see how we generate income from goods. So now goods will be transferred. This means the income will be lower because it will just account for the transfer cost. It's 44K, and now the trucks will bring goods to the city center. So in total per truck 6K, and there will be quite some goods that will generate those 6K. This one transporting. Which train is this one? This is food. This one is mail, but this will still take time, right? No, it's already here. Yeah, okay, great. There's a new factory. Yeah, from time to time, of course, new factories will appear on the map. Oil wells, 2 of them. Great. Anything else which appeared on the map around this area? No, not yet. Here is mail from Edmonton. No, this is not mail from Edmonton. This is mail from Edmonton. Now the train went into service, being traveling for quite some time. Unfortunately, since the other train has been not fully loaded yet, the train will return empty or almost empty. After a while, this will balance out a little bit. But for this time, we cannot avoid it. Now the mail gets unloaded and distributed to the city of Calgary and brings an income of more than 100k. This is great. This is good.